a full day for election officials across the state on this primary Tuesday. When polls close in less than an hour, as many as 2.5 million voters are expected to have cast their votes in some very hotly contested races. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Cecile Burandt.
And I'm Larry Beaulieu. Well, Republicans and Democrats are choosing their candidates today for the state's first general election of the 1990s. Our coverage on this primary Tuesday in Texas will include a look at how local Republicans have fared in getting out the crossover votes for a favorite son in Jefferson County. Will the turnout measure up against statewide predictions? A live report from Orange County with two people deeply involved in the party process. And we'll meet some senior citizens who have a political agenda of their own. Meanwhile, Southeast Texans tonight are still going to the polls and waiting for results in a number of contested county and statewide races. But a heavy turnout among Jefferson County Republicans could be the story of the evening. Tom Wright has been checking the polls in Beaumont this afternoon, and Tom joins us now from Marshall Middle School. Tom, is there any way yet to judge if local Republicans have been successful in their mission to get out the so-called crossover vote?
Well, Larry, if we look at it historically, Democrats have always done very well in Jefferson County. But looking at some of the areas here in the West End today, the Republicans are getting about 50% of the vote. 50% of the people are going in the Republican primary, 50% in the Democratic primary. That is significant because that may well set some records. We'll have to check into that. But that was the issue for Maury Myers, who's running in the 9th District congressional race in the primary for the Republican bid. He'll have to get out that kind of vote in western Jefferson County and western Beaumont. I checked around some of the other areas of the city, for example, in the area predominantly black area of town, and the Republicans weren't doing that well. It was mostly the Democrats getting the votes there, and same thing in the south end of town. Now, as we moved out to southwest and the north end of town, Republicans are making a decent showing. They're getting maybe about a fourth of the vote in those areas. So looking good for the Republicans as they make the bid in this election. Now, there are some other races, the county court at law, commissioner's court, state representative races that will also bring people to the polls today and tonight. And it varies significantly as you move around the county. There are some 17 variations of the ballot throughout Jefferson County, so there are a number of races we'll be looking at as the evening progresses. Larry?
Okay, Tom, thank you for that report, and we'll, of course, be bringing results to people this evening. Well, election officials are reporting a brisk turnout in the state's major metropolitan areas as well. Houston, Austin, Dallas, and San Antonio are all reporting a steady stream of voters at most polling places. In Harris County, in the Houston area, Clerk Anita Rotheaver says the hotly contested Democratic gubernatorial race has apparently prompted many to go to the polls in Harris County. Dallas County reported a shortage of voting machines and isolated problems with overly enthusiastic campaigners. The Texas Secretary of State's office is predicting turnout across the state will be close to 2.3 million of the 8.3 million registered voters.
Well, today's election is only part of the primary function. The other function of the day goes on after the polls close. That's when the party conducts some important business at precinct conventions. Grace Trahan joins us from Orange County with two people who play important roles in the party process. Grace?
Cecile, that's a good point to bring out. Today's purpose is not only to vote in the primary elections, but today is also the day when primary conventions are being held. Joining me right now are Mr. Dewey Updegraff, who is the Democratic chairman here in Orange County, and Mr. Thurl Wood, who is the Republican Party chairman. First of all, let me ask you, Mr. Wood, there are no Republicans on the local ballot here in Orange County. How difficult is it for you to get your primary conventions together?
Not difficult at all. The people who attend the primary conventions are dedicated Republicans, and the local ballot doesn't really affect that as far as those conventions are concerned.
As far as you can tell, how has voter turnout been today?
Very good. Better than we anticipated since it's not a presidential year, from what I can see so far. We're real pleased.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Updegraff, what are some of the things that are going to happen tonight throughout the county?
Well, at 7:15 throughout the county at every voting box there will be the precinct conventions. Democratic Party will be holding them, and hopefully we'll have a good deal of participation. That's the first level of grassroots participation that a person can have in the Democratic Party. And that's the first step that they take to get to the county and then the state convention, and then presidential years, the national convention. So it's important.
Okay, how do you feel about today's turnout?
I was hoping perhaps unrealistically for a much higher turnout. It's unusual turnout across our county. I'm hoping now for a 35 to 40% turnout. I had been hoping for over 50%.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. About 40,000 folks in Orange County registered to vote today, and they still have a little over an hour to make it out to the polls. Of course, Cecile, we will remain here throughout the evening, and we will bring you up to date on the races here in Orange County, including the Orange County Judges race, 2 County Commissioners race, the Justice of the Peace race, and we'll also let you know who comes out on top in the State Representatives race.
Okay, thank you, Grace. Of course, as Larry said, our coverage of Primary Tuesday will continue throughout the evening. We'll have updates on today's turnout and results beginning at 7 o'clock, including interviews with candidates from all across Southeast Texas. Then a complete check of the latest results tonight at 10 on 6 News Tonight.